Welcome everyone. Today finds me in Rahway, New Jersey, where we're going to look at a 130-year-old murder. A murder that some suspect was committed by none other than Jack. Welcome everyone. I'm at the Rahway, New Jersey Cemetery, where I am next to a tombstone that dates back to 1887. It's weathered and hard to read, but it says, "An unknown woman found dead, March 25th, 1887. It was on that date that four brothers, Frank, Irving, Thomas, and Alfred Worth, came across a lifeless body of a young woman. The woman had been brutally murdered, her throat slashed from ear to ear. Some suspect she may have come in on the train the night before. She was well dressed, but there was no identification to be found. When she was found, she was in a pool of blood, frozen to the ground, and she had been carrying a basket of eggs, some of which were broken, but that was about all she had on her. She had defensive wounds to her hands, and her face was beaten. When police began the investigation, the story drew an unprecedented level of international attention. It made headlines all over the United States, Europe, and even Australia. Rewards were issued for up to $500, not only to try to find the murderer, but also to identify the woman. Even with all that international attention, they never found out who she was. She was never identified. Clues came in worldwide with names, but people speculate a lot of that was just people trying to collect a reward. Some stories I've read said as many as 10,000 people attended her funeral service, but amazingly, no friends or family members stepped forward. Although now her burial place is surrounded by those of others, at the time she was placed far back in the cemetery. They didn't know if she was a woman of virtue, so I guess they didn't want her buried among the more virtuous citizens of Rahway. So what does this have to do with Jack the Ripper? At the time, a character named Francis Tumblety was apparently residing in New York City, and he was one of the suspects in the Jack the Ripper case. And many years later, some people say that when he lived in New York, he may have committed this murder as well. I rather doubt it. The fact that someone that was merely a suspect, a name among dozens, maybe hundreds of other Jack the Ripper suspects, lived nearby is hardly evidence. Not only that, but this woman was really not murdered in the same way as the Jack the Ripper suspects. But people like to tell stories, don't they? Still, it's interesting that after 130 years, this unknown murder victim remains unknown. And I suppose after all these years, she'll remain unknown. It's very unlikely that this case will ever be solved. Thanks for joining me, everybody. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos, leave your comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. From Rahway, New Jersey, I'm Mark with the Average Me channel. Someone left a cross with flowers here. It was knocked over, so I thought I would reset it.